Hey, we're here, ready to rock and roll with tonight's show. I'm Clyde Lewis, and Ground Zero is about to take to the airwaves, and we're very happy tonight. We're doing a show called Ho Ho the Mistletoads. Kind of a play on words because, well, it's December 7th, 1941, back when we had Pearl Harbor. And this is the.
80 years, right?
Has it been 80?
Yep.
80 years. 80 years ago, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Uh, And history tells us that it was all a sneak attack and that nobody expected it and everything. Well, that's BS. It was a false flag because they knew it was going to happen. They pretty much allowed it to happen. The Japanese were getting sanctions put on them that made them to the point where they were going to starve to death, and so they had no other alternative but to attack. Roosevelt knew, but I'm not going to go that deep into it because I think a lot of people have, history they've been taught in school and the history that is true, that's reality. And so I'm going to touch on that a little bit, but the truth I'm going to touch on today is that a lot of things we're seeing with regard to the world at large, such as the situation in Russia, the situation in Ukraine, the idea that Biden is going to sanction Russia and could very well be pulling the same type of BS that FDR pulled that could prompt or at least create enough tension where Biden says or Putin says, you're not going to draw a line on us or we'll attack you. This would, and there's several other nations that would be involved too, like the UK, France, Italy, several nations, which would put us even closer to war, a world war, actually. Not only that, because China's preparing for war, they're telling their people to stock up, get food, get accessories and things for the home. I've told people to do this, get your year's supply or month's supply from My Patriot Supply, which is, of course, preparewithgroundzero.com. You need to get it. It's 25-year shelf life. I mean, even if the food gets so expensive, at least you've invested in non-perishables in your house you can live on. To be honest, we've got it in mine, and I've been living on some of it. And the reason why is because I haven't been able to get to the store all the time. They don't have a product that we need, and the food is great. You can just add it to anything in your diet. We've had it here at the studios before. We have our own locker in the studio in case we're stuck here. We have a hot plate. We have pots and pans. We've made macaroni and cheese here. We've made lentil soups. We've had meat in the freezer that we've added to it. Our freezer's full at home, and we've got a lot of perishables, including that's non-perishables, including that stuff. So, I mean, we have food that if we have to survive, we'll survive. And we continue to add to it. The only problem I'm having is water, and I'm going to have to probably bust open the wallet and see if I can get a hold of that water purifier. But, those are things that you can get to prepare your house. We have a generator for power because the power could go out at any time with the weather the way it is. We've been right now dealing with, it's kind of calmed down now in the Pacific Northwest, but we've been dealing with rivers of water here. We've been dealing with blowing wind, and tonight it's fog. Tomorrow it's going to be more rain and lower temperatures. A lot of people aren't having those lower temperatures because, as we said last night with Jim Lee, the jet stream is stuck. And these are some things that, I hope you tell people about, that when we talk about things on the show and they come true, or we talk about them before the mainstream, I hope you guys realize that if you spread the word and tell people where you heard it, more people are going to support the show and more people are going to subscribe to Aftermath.fm and .media. Aftermath.media is a godsend for us. And the listeners who support us are a godsend to us because what we do is we work harder and we create more when more people sign up. I mean, you're investing in a show, but you're also investing in a safe and secure digital playground with information, documents, things that you can do research on. I want you to become a research person. That's the reason why that library is there. If you're tired of TV, if you're tired of just not knowing what to do, get into Aftermath. Read what's in there.
That's why you started Aftermath originally.
Yeah, it's because I said, everybody said to me, Clyde, where do I get this information? I go, well, I just find it, and then when I find it, I just put it in a file. So when we made the move, just before we made the move from the last studio, I just basically undone all my files, and I gave all the links that I had for research, and I put them into Aftermath. And I said, look, if people want it, I'm giving it to the people. Because people say things like, well, if your show's free, why are you charging for it? I'm not charging for the show. The show is there as a convenience for people who need to hear it. I'm charging because what you have is you have a library that's at your fingertips, a library which will give you information and give you studying potentials, things to read if you need something to read. My gosh, I mean, you could sit in there all day, and it's so addicting. A lot of the information I get is, I go back to some of the documents, and we post new documents every day. We just posted a document about the UN 2030 summit and the plans they have for the future. If you want to read about what's going to happen and you can prepare accordingly, go to aftermath.media, sign up today. $10 gets you in. $10 gets you in. $10 a month. We have yearly subscriptions. We have a yearly subscription now. We've lowered the price to $79. That's really good price. And for Christmas, if you want your family and friends, or if you want friends to be a part of the Friends and Family package, it's, what is it, $139. That's you and 3 other people that can be involved. You guys can go in on it, and that way you can have the access. And you'll be able to, you know, give the gift of Ground Zero. Which reminds me that if you want Ground Zero attire, we've got clothing, we've got bumper stickers and pictures and all kinds of things available. If you go to groundzeromerch.com, groundzeromerch.com, people want to have Dr. Heldor shirts for Christmas. They're available at Ground Zero Merchandise or groundzeromerch.com, which, by the way, there's a rumor coming out of the Vatican that Pope Francis may have colon cancer and that he's dying. Dr. Heldor was saying something to that effect when we did the seance a while back. So, I mean, we're very accurate. We try to be as accurate as we can in a lot of these things we do. And we hope that we serve you well as an information source as you're planning your lives in this up and down apocalypse we're living in. Because, as I say many times, business is usually in the apocalypse and business is good. And stories keep coming, and more people are listening to Ground Zero. Remember, subscribe at aftermath.media. That's aftermath.media. Do it today.